Oh, shit, I forgot to hit the little thing. Let me do the countdown. Where's the count?
Episode 40 what?
Right.
Where's the start button?
Fuck, we ain't got the media going, man. Where's the media?
What? It's on media assets. It's on there. You want me to do it?
There we go.
I'm waiting, boys.
That's pretty. Man, I did like it, Wes. I think it was better than most. And if that was a retread or a repurpose, man, I don't remember. But man, I don't remember what I had for lunch today. So that's not saying a lot. But I thought it was pretty good. I'm gonna give it an 8.6.
Oh, I like it, man. 8.6.
I have one of the best memories in the world, and I know for sure Wes has not played that before.
Bullshit. We're putting 40 on it right now. You drink your memory away every Tuesday night.
Well, it could be episode 4.
Yeah, every day is just a new day for me. It's like, man, I don't remember what happened yesterday. And, just like poof.
Hey,
and it's a brand new day.
Man, I don't give a shit. The whole 9.1. Thank you. And
I'm
I got
going
8.5. So we're there.
Come on, people, get them up a little bit. That was gangster. I loved it, Wes. I'm going 9.7.
Well, I didn't realize
9.7. Unless you keep talking, I might go down a little bit. Go. What were you going to say?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. I'm just going to go.
So, man, we do have a mile marker. Just, man, you guys don't know this, but I'm going to tell you right now. We're live on Chicken Fried's Facebook page. We're live on Chicken Fried's YouTube page, but we're also live on the Shiggin Fried page on YouTube. So last week I tried to set that up and it wouldn't let, I guess it was too new or whatever. But it still won't let me go live on Facebook. It says we haven't met the criteria, and it's probably because, man, we're not posting on that page or whatnot. So maybe we've got to post on that Shiggin Fried page in order to broadcast. But man, if you're on YouTube and you're watching, man, go over to the Shiggin Fried page and watch it from there, because we can use the watch time over there. So there it is. So
and like the show, share it, do all the good stuff to help us out. See, we've got 1 like so far. Let's get that going. Let's get it rolling. And Russell, you mentioned that did we really have a hot mic going on before the show? Did you hear us?
We did.
I
think. Well, because I didn't hit the button. I usually hit the countdown and then the button. Man, I hit the button and I was like, oh shit, I'm supposed to hit the countdown. So we did have a little bit of a blurb there for the first.
We couldn't have said anything worse than we say on the show.
No.
I think we might be tamer in the green room.
No, man. And the green room is just as man, there's no real different from here. So we're not really scaling anything back on the live show. So
no. God, there's my boy right there. Good to hear from you, Chris. Good to hear from you, buddy. We're not even putting this up anymore. Fuck that guy.
Are you gonna play his no big deal?
We gotta fuck Fred. No, we're not. We're not gonna do it. We're gonna have to put a fuck Chris up. Fuck Jay.
He's gonna have a new button.
I hate the fact that he's got the. He overrides me. He's got the override button over there.
Mm-hmm. I got my boy Schaefer, man. I mean, he named the show. He's the one that named it. I mean, he's a dignitary.
The worst thing that could have happened to this show.
He's a lifelong dignitary of the show. So
he is, but he should have only been able to name the first 6 episodes, and then we rename it after that.
Well, man, hey, Wes, man, I'll put it in your hands. If you can come up with a better name, man, I'm not opposed. So.
Well, I'm loving it.
Fuck Fred.
And I see a new trend coming.
I do too. Hey, he's in here early. I guess the fishing's not doing too well. He usually doesn't come into like the last 3 minutes of the show. What's going on? And he's out already. Good night,
Good night, boys.
And my boy Rob.
Right on time.
What's up, man?
Right on time.
Yeah, these guys. Good to see you. Good to hear from you. That's a classy guy right there, that Rob. I'm telling you.
Big shout out to Rob, and he did a great job at the banquet, CBA banquet this week. He was
Good
the MC,
Christian,
man. Rob did an excellent job. Y'all make sure you're following the So Smoking Gooder show. I don't know who he's. Man, I don't know if maybe he might have Damn Yankees on tomorrow. I'm not sure. I saw a post. I don't know who Rob. Man, put it in the comments if you already have a guest lined up, Rob. If you've got Shane, because man, congratulations to Shane. He did get two nice walks this weekend, and man, he top 10 at the CBA World Championship. Good for him. So
hell yeah, good job, buddy.
Yeah,
he's starting to come around pretty good. Man, I'm gonna give the man the props. He's cooking well.
Man, I thought it would be a good time to probably get him on the show because waiting for him to GC, waiting on him to GC could be long-winded,
I'm messing with you, Shane. And I think he just left too. He's enough of this shit. I just saw
it. All the compliments are followed up with an insult. It's just the way we roll.
Yeah. It's backhanded night. Backhanded compliment. First of all, speaking of insults, let's talk about that jacket you were wearing this weekend. Can you kind of go?
I'll have you know we were named best dressed. So I'm just saying
that bar was not set real high, was it? I'm just saying. I got about 10 photos of you, and I was like, "What's that chick? She is hot." And then I got I was like, "Fuck, that's shit." It's a cross. That was a blend between Sir Mix-a-Lot and Jelly Roll. It was a little bit. It was awesome, dude. World champion outfit. I would say that was.
Yeah, we aim to please. What can I say?
We're already talking about a 107 in rib for the L.
Man, Brandon, he was a hair off,
Yeah. And I think you did good, Brandon. You beat me by almost like 30 spots. So congratulations on that 107 rib, man.
Yeah.
You could have hit a bad table. I mean, there is a reason that they don't take down the names and add the information from these judges, because if they ever had a data breach, man, it wouldn't be good. Once we figure out who Judge 6 is, man, it just wouldn't be pretty.
You know what? That we're missing a good trend for Halloween. People need to start wearing a T-shirt that says Judge Number 6.
Right.
Just walking around. Only the barbecue comp guys would get that. That son of a bitch is about to catch these hands. That'd be a good one.
And death threat and hate mail would be going out for sure on some of these, some of these guys for sure.
Appreciate it, Jared. Thanks, buddy. And if you don't mind, privately message me and tell me how to use them. If you don't mind, thanks.
He's looking for those notes that I gave you to give back to him. If you could do that, this thing is coming full circle.
Where fuck 'em 10 comes into play.
Yeah,
it is. We got to redo the discount code. That was so 2024.
Oh, I guess Brandon was on your fucking rib table. Wow.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. You had
Sorry.
on the back. It was just the wrong table. I don't know what to tell you.
Y'all get ready to sip because this
I
one.
appreciate it, Caesar. I did, man. I downed that bottle of Fireball and I kicked it about 30 yards.
Nice.
He's coming in with a big money early, you know. Mm.
It's getting
And he
close to
must have
payday
stole it
for
from
him.
Caesar Jr.
What he gets, man, I can't believe you gave away that jacket. You can't believe you give away anything, you know, except for rubs and injections to him, you know.
Yeah. That's that makes total sense. You know, that's
Okay. Our boy came in here. He came strong. He's using some of those winnings.
Oh, fuck.
Get your phone ready. You may be next week, Shane. Get your phone ready. You know.
Hey, one more of those and you're coming on. Just saying. We're gonna lock it in. This is
one more of those
Tuesday. One more of those and you're on the show.
You're on.
I was like,
unless you fuck up this weekend.
Man, he set the bait's out.
Right.
Let's see if we can hook them. Everybody, I'm refreshing.
Man, congrats on the big two first place this weekend in the meets.
Yeah,
congratulations.
they did, man. 2 first. That's pretty awesome. Shit.
Hell yeah.
Man, all I had was a turkey call. I wasn't really super pleased with the turkey. I mean, I thought the turkey was okay. Oh, there's a pit father coming in.
Oh,
he lost by 0.02.
Oh, fuck.
Damn. I tell you what, Eddie when he shows up, man, he comes to play for sure. He likes to come to play in those big games, doesn't he?
Man, he was also on my brisket table, which didn't like brisket. So that shows you.
Oh, he was on your brisket table too? Fuck.
He was on the brisket table. I think he had a 185, which was like a 200 on our table.
Thank you, Brandon.
And sorry, Eddie. Sorry you landed on my table. Anybody landed on my table this weekend. Appreciate it, Brandon. Congrats, buddy.
I tried Eddie's brisket. Eddie was next to me and he brought it over because he ran a new motor on his brisket. Ooh. And you know how when someone brings you a brisket and they're grinning from ear to ear because they're so fucking happy with it. Like, hey man, here, try this, and man, that's the way he was. And man, he wasn't like, man, try my brisket and tell me if it's okay.
He didn't give a shit.
He was bringing it over there because he had fucking nailed it,
Sounds like KP every week.
Yeah, man, his brisket was good, and man, I thought his brisket was great, and man, lo and behold, as
he was peacocking, wasn't he? But he
got fucking homeboy.
Yeah.
Oh, his Peter was hard, just bringing me that brisket, for me to try. He was all jammed up about it.
There's nothing better than walking over there. Just let somebody know you beat them. You just just
pretty much
in your mouth and just look down.
Yeah, and I told him mine's already in the trash, bro. Sorry, I don't have any for you to try.
What's that on your cutting board? Don't worry about that. That's been fondled. You don't need to eat that.
Hey, babe, did you already trash that piece of shit brisket? Yeah, it's already in the trash. Okay, yeah. So,
talk to us about y'all's cooks, man. Obviously, y'all hit some bad tables. They were awesome cooks, bad judges, but let's discuss it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was, man, for me, I was happy with everything. I did think the brisket was a little small, but flavor wise, man, it was just normal what I've been turning in and what's been walking. So the burn ends were a little challenging. I don't know if this has happened to y'all, but I don't know if you actually process burn ends, Wes, or if you even cook them. But man, I cook my burn ends. I cook my burn ends with the fat on the bottom. I leave the fat on. So, and I cut the fat off as I'm processing them. Well, right in the whole middle of my burn ends, the fat had risen, so you've got, let me get to the camera. Like the left side, you've got meat, the right side, you've got meat, but in the middle, the fat kind of rose and the meat was real thin over the middle. So, man, I just had to cut the whole middle section out of my burn ends, but man, I was still able to get plenty of burn ends to, to put in the box. But, and I think even Fred was out trolling around and he came into my trailer when I was processing burn ends. And I was like, man, I think they're a little fatty. Of course, they did have the fat on the bottom, and I knocked it off and gave him a piece. And man, I could tell from Fred's face, man, he thought, man, these are great. You know,
Fuck Fred.
And Stacy was next to me. Don't be helping him on brisket. And Fred's like, man, he don't need no help from me, you know. And the burn-in was good, but man, I think I was 20 something, 24, 25th. I won my brisket table, man. Yeah. But either way, what killed me was chicken and pork. Man, I was 99th chicken and I was 71st pork.
Appreciate it, fat boy.
And they were terrible. They were terrible tables. So thanks, fat boy. And I think I finished 40 something. I don't know. It wasn't man, mid-pack. I'll go with mid-packer.
Man, and there was how many people at this cookout? 100 and what?
140.
140. And you were 20th and you mid-packed it?
Yeah, I finished 40th overall, something like that. So
did I?
Yeah, I had an 18th or 19th rib and 24th brisket. They were my best, you know. So
well, I apparently went through too much trouble, you know, actually cooking my brisket. I could have just opened it, sliced it, and put it in the box and saved myself a lot of trouble. And I really would have turned in a raw brisket, you know. So you get the raw brisket looks raw comment, which is a first. I've never got that one before. So
there's the champ.
We're still looking for the addresses, but we're still trying to search them down.
He's trying to AI him over here. Get Google.
Get out.
Hey, we're gonna whoop their ass.
He ain't real happy about it.
No. We're winners in this house.
It is what it is, man. No one's immune from ever, you know, I guess not getting results they shoot for. So here we are. Man, I was happy to get some walks, man. When they started going on the turkey, they started calling top 5, and I'm like, ugh, only top 5? Man, that really narrows the odds. And then Bill gets the 5th place turkey call, which, man, it's so much better than 6, right? We talked about it. I mean, I didn't give shit for 6. They didn't mention nothing. It was on the paper. You had to look it up. And man, we were fortunate. We got 4th, which was a pleasant surprise. I mean, our turkey was kind of like Bill's. It was good, but, you know, I felt like I've done better. My timing I didn't think was great. You know, I'm messing around with the rotisserie on a Weber, and man, my timing wasn't good, and I had to pull it off. It was cooking way too fast. And then, you know, it didn't cook for like 30, 45 minutes. And then I put it back on, and I didn't feel like my timing was good, but man, we got away with it. And man, we got a nice chicken call. We got 5th chicken. So man, still walked away with, man, $1,100 out of the contest. And man, that was quite a payday for 86th overall. So we'll take it. Yeah. It's the most money I've ever made, 86th overall.
Wow. Eddie, that's a good question. We're gonna wait till we get our guest on here so he could talk about it too. If you don't mind, I will circle back to that.
But yeah, no. Man, it was just a lot of teams. I had people, you know, you get a lot of people coming up to you that you hadn't met, that either taken your class or whatever. And man, I was kind of explaining to them, man, it's kind of like the Astros, man. Sometimes, man, you know, just encouraging these newer cooks that just because you don't walk at, you know, one of these big cook-offs, really, it's not a statement against your barbecue. Man, there's just so many tables, and, you know, there's so many different tables that, man, it's hard to use it as a benchmark for how well your barbecue is. And man, I kind of said, you know, the Astros, if they go out and play and don't score any runs, man, it doesn't mean they suck at baseball, because if all of us suited up and went to play them, man, they'd whip our ass. They're just playing other really good teams. And man, there's just a lot of really good teams there. So,
absolutely. Hence the brisket at the Royal. I mean, you know, and at the same time, it's just it's all about the table you land on. I mean, we all make judges and jokes about it, but it's the God's honest truth. It's not even that. If you move your food over one spot on the bread, you know, tray, it may get something different because somebody before you may have had a very off-putting flavor that messed up yours. It is that minute.
Oh, well, I know people that had last place brisket at the Royal and walked on the next day, you know, and had a, you know, top 10 the next day.
Man, I can't say that didn't cross my mind the past couple of days, Wes. I did actually think of a specific moment. Like, that's how that happens.
Yeah. I remember it very vividly going, you're great. You know
which
you're
day
great.
do you remember more?
Just do what you do, bro, and you'll get a 180. And I remember the Lord answered with a 180, and he was like, I won't let you suffer long.
Well, this really is a mental. I mean, when it comes down to it, this is a mental sport. And man, typically whoever's mentally strongest and can stay the course and filter through all the, the wins and the losses and the results, man, typically succeeds in the long run. So it's just not easy, man. We're all there, right? And like Bill said, and the new guys are, man, there's people who took the class and they're like, man, did I do everything right? Yeah, man. Yeah, you beat me, so you're doing something right, man, it is what it is. If you take that contest with 140 teams and 140 really, really good teams, right? If we take 100 of the best 100 teams in the world and have a contest, man, somebody's going to finish first and somebody's going to finish 100th. You know what I mean? So, man, the fact of the matter is there was a ton of good teams there, and they're going to be ranked in order from first to 140. The judging did seem low, right? Even I think it was a 771 that won it. And you take all these really, really good teams, and the high score we can get out of it is 771. So, and there did seem to be, I guess, a lot more, lower scores, or just judges kind of hammer on people for whatever reason. I don't know how to pinpoint that or figure out what it is, but man, you got a ton of good barbecue there, and you got people kind of going through there ripping and tearing. So I don't know, man. Who knows?
So what he's saying is we're not circling back tonight, guys.
Well, I mean,
full steam ahead.
We do have Hollywood Hatcher coming on, and and so Craig at Royal Oak calls him Hollywood Hatcher. So, but man, he may have some insight. Hatcher's been doing this a long time. I know whenever I first started cooking, man, he was walking the dog on people up there in North Texas. All you heard was Chris Hatcher, and man, he took a nice break, but man, he's back, and man, he found his way to the stage this weekend. So man, let's bring on Hollywood if we can. Let's see here. There he is.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Hatcher?
How are y'all?
Yeah, we're good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man.
Yeah. Make it home safe, no problems, huh? Coming out was a little difficult. Yeah. So
yeah, it was sketchy. We didn't slide but 3 or 4 times on the way out, but way home was pretty good.
And did you have that same little RV pulling that baby Jimbo, or is that what you brought down? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we've been running that setup for about a year now, a little over a year. So,
what were you on before?
Drums.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a Jimbo back in the day, and then we took our break, and then come back, started on drums, and then went back to the Jimbo pretty quick.
You're starting to see that now, and I've told that to several people that I'm close with in barbecues. Like, it gravitates to something when people start winning, and then I'm starting to see as people are going back to offsets. And I'm starting to see that by the droves now.
Is that right? You're seeing a lot of people moving back to offsets, huh?
A couple of people in here, I think you got a nice one.
I do have a nice one. Man. It's a Cadillac,
I know it cooks biscuits really well. I saw that.
It's a biscuit cooking motherfucker, I'll tell you that.
Cooking machine.
Man, load that bitch up. How many biscuits can we get on there, Bill? Huh?
Man, I might turn in biscuits at this point, So
I thought you did.
Man, I feel like I'd have better luck with them.
Give them some biscuits and gravy and see how that scores, So.
Yeah. Man, does that biscuit look raw, motherfucker? Come on. Shit.
Well, there's that.
But man, you made your way to the stage, Hatcher, huh? You got in there on a brisket call. What place brisket did you get?
Yeah, we walked with the seventh brisket. And
did you do burn ends and do the whole enchilada at them?
Man, we did. Yeah, we always cook them. I mean, they don't always turn out. I mean, 9 times out of 10 they will, and I'll put them in. But man, they were good this week, and I knew as soon as I opened the wrap and glazed them up, I was like, man, these feel really, really nice. And man, it crossed my mind at one point to just turn in all burn ends.
Right.
My flat was good. Little overcooked, but man, I don't know what they went for, but I was cooking next to the Bittners again, and And I told him before I turned in, I said, man, if they go for a burn in today, we're in. You know, we got a good shot, you know, getting a call. And shit, that might be what they went for. I don't know.
Wow.
Well, I remember at Royal Oak when we were cooking Royal Oak, man, if I remember correctly, you hated your brisket at Royal Oak.
It was terrible. It was terrible.
And man, Drew Davis was telling me that, man, Phil's got first place brisket. You know, I distinctly remember him. I guess he had tried your brisket, and man, I brought him over to mine, and he said Phil's got first place. And man, they called Phil for 10th, and I leaned over to Phil and said, man, if I get a top 3 call, man, we're aiming for the wrong marks. And I ended up getting second. And I think you had a couple calls, and man, me and Phil were trying to figure out as they're calling down the, you know, top 5 or whatever. I'm like, man, I bet Hatcher's in there. He hated his brisket. His brisket's probably does pretty good, you know? Yeah. I mean, obviously you didn't walk, but sure enough, I think you were 11th or 12th in brisket and you hated it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We ended up 12th.
Yeah. It's just squirrely out some of this stuff. And, you know, obviously this week you loved your brisket and man, it got in there, you know, but your ribs didn't, I guess. You loved your ribs as well. So,
yeah, you know, I mean, I thought our burn-ins were really good this weekend. And, you know, like I said, the flat was pretty decent. But, man, I thought my ribs were perfect. I mean, the texture, the tenderness, like everything. I mean, the flavor was good. Shit, there was 140 teams that had a good flavor, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Man, our texture was perfect. I thought they were hammers. You know, they were good. And they get to award. You know, we get to awards. I thought, shit, we got a good chance to get a call in ribs. Shit, I think they were like 70 something. So,
doesn't that just mess you up for the rest of the award? It's almost like it don't matter what you get. You're pissed that you didn't get a rib call. You know.
Man, it was weird. That contest, I wasn't too upset. Man, we get to brisket, and I was like, man, I'd be happy with a call. You know, I think we had a good enough brisket, but sitting there looking around at all the teams that were there, I wasn't too upset. You know, I mean, there was a lot of great teams there. So I was like, man, if we get a call, we'll be happy. But if not, we'll be fine.
Sure. Well,
yeah,
sounds like
feeling. Man, I was really feeling confident and not getting calls. I keep thinking, man, I'm probably 20th, you know, or, you know, right outside the top 15 or whatever. But, man, and I was on 2 of them and I wasn't on the other 2. So, but.
Man, I didn't think I was as far off as I was. You know, I'm kind of like Bill. Maybe I'm 20th or 25th.
Yeah.
I missed it by 100 spots, you know.
Our boy John's coming in every week with this.
Appreciate it, John.
Alaska showing up, showing out.
Fuck.
You get the fuck tonight.
And your pork, you said you hated your pork, wasn't real happy. I say hated. You weren't happy with your pork. And it scored a lot better than you thought. Yeah. So
yeah, man, I don't know. It was weird. I cooked a new pork this weekend, which kind of stupid on my part, but man, cooked it. Everything went good. You know, it felt right. Put it in the Cambro, pulled it out. I don't know what happened. It tightened way, way up. You know, and I even tried to take it a little bit further, you know, during the cook, just because I knew it would come back some. And I was telling Bill, and I was telling you earlier, you know, I was cooking next to the Bittners and Sure Shot, and we were, you know, kind of trading food throughout the day. And I told them, I was like, guys, y'all aren't trying my pork today. They're like, why? I was like, man, it's embarrassing. Like, it's bad. And sure enough, it was like 32nd or 35th or something. So absolutely hated it. And it, you know, it was finished, you know, pretty decent. So yeah.
Right. Let me clarify something. Did you run a new motor or did you run a new brand of pork?
New brand of pork. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did you do? Did you do monies individually or to the butter?
Yeah, I did monies and pulled.
Yeah. And your monies tightened up, I assume?
Yeah, they tightened way up. Yeah. I took the best one. I cooked 4 monies. I took the best one. So I guess it was, you know, good enough to.
When did they finish? When did they finish? Do you have a long rest?
Probably 45 an hour, maybe.
That's not too long for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really cold this weekend, but you know, I don't know. It could be the brand. It could be the brand pork, right? Too.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
it was a new brand that I hadn't cooked in a long time, so I'm kind of chalking it up to that.
Yeah, like you said, it finished terrible. 30th, you know, horrible.
We had a question earlier, Chris. I was going to wait till we got on here. Eddie asks, how much does the weather affect the judging in y'all's experience? Is there a correlation?
Man, I think so. I've talked to a lot of cooks and cooking up in North Texas a lot. We get a lot colder weather than down south, and I've always been, I've tried to be middle of the road on all my flavors and everything. My brisket does get a little salty at times, and it does not work in the wintertime. Salty brisket up in North Texas, if you're salty, you're going to get hammered. It's unless you get lucky. But right. Man, I think being, salty in the summer and bringing it back, being a little more savory, in the winter is, it for sure helps.
Absolutely.
My opinion.
Yeah. And I was talking to Fred, and Fred was talking about that as well earlier this week. I think, these colder weathers, the flavors and the salt level, the salt level changes, when it's real hot outside, obviously people are drinking a lot of beer, salts can be your friend, but if it gets real cold, and it was super cold this weekend, that maybe it can hurt you more than help you. I don't know. So, I'm definitely
we had a pretty good balance on our brisket this weekend too. So that might be, what helped. We weren't too salty. We weren't too sweet, just kind of right in the middle.
Right.
And he said his brisket doesn't work in the winter, spring, summer, or fall.
Hey, he walked this weekend. He walked twice. So Andy, Fat Cat Barbecue. I heard his name a couple of times. So
he's sandbagging over here. It sounds like
he's sandbagging a little bit, And I'm not sure if it was brisket or what he walked on, but I know he worked his way to a stage a couple of times, and I think he landed in the top 10, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe
fifth, somewhere in there.
Fifth.
So.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe fifth.
Top of my head. Yeah, and anybody in the top 10 this weekend. Made it through the tunnel, and big congratulations, because
for sure.
Really, there wasn't anybody that didn't go unscathed in some form or fashion. It seems like, right?
Yeah.
It was about who had the smallest dent in their car. It was a little bit of bumper cars out there, and man, which one could still limp across the finish line?
Rob,
I know he did not have on pants. I don't think the guy owns a pair of pants, does he?
They were just long shorts, and they look like pants.
We got long shorts and short shorts.
Well, as tall as he is, all the shorts are long on him.
He's got some short shorts. Don't let him break out the short shorts on you.
He's got those coaching shorts from the 80s.
I'm always entertained when a short joke's not directed at me. So keep hammering away.
I love you, Rob. I'm just kidding. Man. I bet your vertical is crazy tall too. Dunk.
But man, we need to give a big shout out to Steve Oler. He GC'd the contest. Big O's Barbecue. He's a fantastic cook, and we kind of overshot that talking about our lost stuff. But congrats to Big O. That's 2 in a row, or 3 GCs in a row for him.
Oh wow!
Yeah. He's got 3 GC. Brazoria County he GC'd. Texas Angels he GC'd, and this one. So.
Shit, hell of a roll. And man, those are no blocks. I mean,
keep your ass down where you're at. Try not to expand outside of Texas.
We're going to need your schedule so we can avoid it.
Hey, and you know what, man? When I posted that the leg lamp trophy, he's a hell of a brisket cook. And Oler got in there. He hated his brisket, and he still got in there on brisket. But when I posted that leg lamp reel, he tagged his wife like, man, let's go for one of these guys this year. So I think Oler may be making a little bit of a run. We'll see, but man, he's got a great start to the season with 2 GCs and 2 really big contests. Brazoria County was last year's points. So he's got 2 nice GCs for this year's points chase.
Man, it was hard to figure out, I was sitting right next to Bill, and we were trying to figure out who won. Brandon had those 3 calls. So, man, you had him in the driver's seat, right? And then, out of the gates, 10th, it was like, ooh, man, whoa, we kind of don't know what's happening yet. So, man, when they did call Big O, man, him and Jessica, they were super excited. And, man, we were excited for them, man. It was a big contest. And I always like seeing, how happy people get or whatever in that big moment for them. So it was pretty cool to witness.
Yeah. You can see by Eddie's comment right here, if you want to do well in one of these big Texas contests, you got to sacrifice your truck and your AC. You blew your engine in your brand new 2500. Are you serious?
He did. He did. I told him on Saturday, congratulations, you're probably going to GC it. Now I was wrong. He RGC'd it, but man, I figured he'd have a good weekend blowing his engine and all and having motor oil scattered everywhere. So.
Jeez. Wow.
Broke the fan on his mini. Bill, I saw your picture, man. Yours was all froze up. Was that the weather, or did you have what was going on with your mini split?
Under 40 degrees.
Oh, man. Yeah, man. It was, man, I was running it here at the house before because we were having the freezes, and man, I didn't want my water pump to freeze. So I turned the heater on the mini split, the last 2 nights before we left for the contest. And man, I guess it rained and it was freezing, whether it was rain, but man, it ended up working when I got there. So,
all good.
Yeah, I turned her off, hosed her off with the hose, melted all the ice. And when I got to skiing, cranked her up, man, heater was working just fine. So
perfect.
Brandon, I will say this, you were 10th overall, which is so much better than 11th overall. You like hearing your song. If it had got down to first and you weren't in the top 10 yet, and that still wasn't your song, it would have stung worse. I promise. Yeah. So yeah, at least you hit the one of the greatest table of deaths ever in the ever of brisket, and you still got the top 10. So that's quite the accomplishment in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, we were at the banquet, and Uwe won pork team of the year, and man, I'm bullshitting with him, and man, he's not in the top 10 overall, and I'm like, man, where'd you land in? Because Uwe's a great cook. Last year he won the CBA, championship. I said, man, where'd you land at overall? He's 11th. I'm like, oh fuck, that sucks, Because man, I know they're about to call out the top 10, and man, Uwe ended up 11th. But shout out to Uwe. So pork team of the year. The banquet was fucking awesome. Did you go to the banquet, Chris, or no?
Yeah. We were sitting right next to him, man. He found us here. We were running late, man. The awards were long or whatever. It wasn't really long, but man, our hotel was 10 or 15 minutes away, and 2 ways, and we got to take showers and get dressed. So, and we got back, and it was already pretty full in the banquet room. And Chris found us some chairs. Man, banquet was real nice. The food was great.
Yeah.
Rob did a good job on the MC of the awards, and man, it looked like everybody had a good time. So
yeah, it was cool.
I'll put it on.
And you didn't chase points at all, Chris. So I mean, did being at the banquet make you want to chase or anything like that?
Yeah, it does. Makes me want to go cook again right then. But, we kept waiting on our name to get called, but yeah, we didn't get it called that night. But no, we only had 6 CBA cooks last year. So
gotcha. Yeah.
We kind of started a little late, but man,
how'd you finish overall with 6 cooks?
Man, I don't remember the placement, but I think we were the highest team with less than 10 cooks.
Yeah.
So, that's the 9s, 8s, 7s. You only had 6.
We passed a lot of teams that had some had 10, some had 9. We had a lot of. Right. That's some pretty good luck last year.
We're very lucky you don't do more of them, Chris, but we might not be so lucky.
Get lucky every now and then,
Yeah. What's the schedule look like? What do you got coming up?
Yeah. So we've got a pretty full schedule. We sat down the other day and, put some stuff down on the calendars. So, of course, some of them are going to be, Houston and some non-sanctioned stuff or some Go Texan stuff that, we cook for our Houston team, but back to retirement. But we're gonna have I think we're gonna have a pretty good spring. So yeah, looking forward to getting back out there.
Nice.
And you think will you get 10 in this year, or you think you'll try to get a little more than 10? Or
yeah, we're gonna try to at least get 10. Just to see where we're at. I was looking at all the results from this past weekend, and man, with 2 cooks, we're in the top 10 in brisket right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we'll start turning. I'm like, brisket's been pretty hot, so try to chase a little bit.
We're working on the leg lamp a little earlier this year. I'm thinking going full leg, like full hind quarter. Like going up almost to the hip with it. You know, what's tall?
Need a floor lamp this year. Floor lamp.
Explain the leg lamp. I didn't catch all that. What in the hell was the deal with
Where
that?
you been, Wes?
Yeah. I've been tuned out. I've been in the woods.
You know, I got the bright idea, I guess, a few months ago, and you know, I was brisket team of the year last year, and I thought it'd be cool to get whoever was going to be the brisket team of the year, you know, something this year. So I started working on that, and it evolved a bit by the time I was done, because man, I didn't really know what I was going to end up doing with it, and you know, I was doing all this like on Thursday, like Friday we got to go to the cook-off. So man, I'm over at the dollar store. Man, I spent $58 at Dollar General pulling this thing together with, man, some fancy gold tassel, and man, I've got a glue gun, and man, I thought that 10-pack of those sticks would be enough, but I almost ran out. I barely had enough glue, you know, for this guy. I had some really expensive fake fur to go along for trim, you know, also got at the dollar store. But anyway, I just wanted it to be something kind of cool and different or whatever. Man, I don't know. Reagan does the Cock King trophies, you know, or whatever. So man, I would say I got some sort of the idea from there of just doing something different. And man, hopefully that's, you know, originally I thought, man, whoever's brisket team of the year this year, it's Robert now, and he's in charge of the leg lamp for next year. But man, I don't know if Bobby's going to pull that off, so I might have to do the leg lamp.
I don't know if he will either.
So that was kind of the leg lamp deal. And don't ask me why I ended up making it into a lamp. You know, it originally, if I would have had a cow leg, I would have skinned it, and I would have salted it, and I would have taxidermied it myself. But I didn't have a cow leg, right? And I didn't want to have to go kill a cow to get a leg and all that mess. So I did a lot of searching on eBay. I think I found it on eBay, and it was a wine flask, and it was hideous, man. It had this like red and yellow and blue tape on there, and like a shoestring for a deal, and it worked. Like at one point, I thought I'll just put Coors Light in this thing and give it to him, but I didn't think that was special enough. So I'm like, man, we're gonna disassemble it, and we're gonna do some arts and craft, and we're gonna make this baby shine, and it does work. The lamp comes on, but Bobby, don't run that lamp like, I don't know if it's up to UL standards, and it's not up to code, and I don't, you know, man, I don't want anything catching fire. So
don't use plugged in.
He ain't the most legalist, as he would say.
But the thing was, man, the leg, they built it around a glass bottle, and I didn't realize that till I kind of started dismantling it, and I'm like, oh, shit, I got to drill through this glass, which, man, didn't go that well. I mean, as far as like just putting a hole, it shattered the entire bottom, and I'm chipping pieces of glass out of there. So, man, the inside of that thing's pretty, you know, man, I could see it fraying a lamp cord. But anyway, he seemed to like it. It was pretty cool and something different. So there's the story. There's the story on the leg.
Good to know.
Pfeiffer says challenge accepted.
I love it.
Yeah, the little gringo was out there this weekend.
He's everywhere.
He's everywhere, you know.
And he really seemed in his element. And I guess, you know, he was helping with checking teams in and getting people to spots, which was, there's a lot of teams there, and it was busy. So, man, he was a kid in a candy store doing all that. So
yeah, Kentrell was in his freaking moment. He definitely was.
Big-headed, you know.
He's never at home.
He walked the clock around, showed us the clock.
Oh my God. The guy's in the most unhappy marriage of anybody you know. He's gotta be. He's never at the house.
I didn't know he was married.
I don't think he did either.
Man, somebody needs to tell his wife.
She's just getting the direct deposit. That's all that matters.
And he knows all our teams too, for the most part. He leaves my trailer. All right, see you guys later. See you later, Stacy. And he leaves, and Stacy goes, "Who the fuck was that?" Man, he got you pegged, man. He knows everybody, Stacy. Don't worry about it.
He does, man.
And he was over there helping Fred. Yeah, good job there, buddy. Like that guy needs some help. So he's obviously getting more into the. Has he ever come into Texas like this before this show came?
Oh yeah,
on?
No. He has. He came last year and helped out last year. He judged last year and helped out at the CBA until Kevin shows up. Then I said, "What's your team name?"
Well, my whole thing is you got to think about eventually down the road. They got this new KCBS. You got this new KCBS Hall of Fame, man. Cantrell's got to be in there eventually. For everything he's done. Now,
for sure.
I'm being for real. Like that guy had just put in a lot of stuff for barbecue.
Did you get a chance to meet him, Hatcher?
Cantrell?
Yeah.
He said, "Oh yeah."
Oh yeah.
There's not. Let me tell you, to define if you're somebody in barbecue, I'm going to go as far as saying, if Cantrell knows you, you've made it. If he doesn't know it, you're not shit in barbecue. Let's just call it out. That guy knows everybody that does anything in barbecue.
Cantrell's got the list, So
yeah, Twisted D. I've got to get you that hot button, bro. Sorry. There may be some fuck Fred shirts coming around sooner than later. Sorry, Fred. It's gonna be at your expense, buddy.
Let's circle back a little bit on the cook. Did you do everything on the Jambo, Chris? Did you do chicken on the Jambo as well, or no?
Yeah. So I do everything. Yeah. Man, if I'm cooking CBA, I'm cooking, normally thighs, wings.
Yeah.
I've always cooked all that on the offset, but like in our current setup with a Class C, I don't have room for a drum or anything like that. So, man, when we're cooking, we've got that Baby J slammed full. It
has to be slammed full, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. At one time, we've got all four meats on at the same time. Yeah. So.
And I guess, what are you just doing 2 racks of ribs, or can you squeeze 3 in there?
Yeah, so I do 2. I probably could do 3, but I just run 2.
Right.
Just money
with my process, it's easier, and then run monies. Yeah. And then not, of course, flat point, and then 2 pans of chicken.
2 half pans of chicken.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about trying chicken on my offset just to, I got room, and I know plenty of people that cook, thighs on an offset, and they do just fine.
Do well with it. Yeah. Do very well with it.
Yeah. I think out of the 6 CBA cooks we had this year, we were only out of the top 10 one time.
Yeah.
With thighs.
Doing thighs. Yeah.
Yeah. So this weekend I got a wild hair and was like, man, I'm going to throw a Hail Mary, 140 cooks.
Yeah.
I'm always curious, because CBA, we turn in thighs and wings, right? Kind of stole that idea from you. Thank you.
Yeah.
But, man,
and I got
it's full. It looks good. So
yeah,
this weekend I got a wild hair. It's like, man, I think I'm going to run all wings. Don't do that.
Oh, you did that?
Didn't work out.
It is a home run or strike.
Feel about all wings at CBA.
It's either all or nothing. And I got one chicken comment that said,
"Oh fuck."
You should have asked me. You should have asked me.
You should have.
What'd
your comment say? What'd your comment say?
It said like cute layout or something.
Thanks, boss man.
Thanks.
He is coming in smoking.
Man, Phil's got to tell the story about his all wing box at the CBA World Championship.
And I got a wild hair to do that too, Chris. And it was the first time I ever did it, and it was at the CBA. It was at the CBA World Championship in
good time to do it
2 years ago. I guess it was 23. Man, I hit. I didn't get a chicken walk, and I didn't get a rib walk, but I hit 4th pork and I hit brisket. So I felt like I was in pretty good shape. And man, they called the top 10 And man, I didn't even get around. I wasn't even walking back I was walking back from my spot from my first place brisket, and man, I was 10. So same thing as Brandon Perryman. I was like, ooh, shit, something didn't do well, right? And I did all wings. And I thought, man, these wings are great. For whatever reason, man, a wing box just doesn't.
Yeah,
I've done it twice now. I got the wild hair to do it again, a couple months ago, and it didn't do well that cook either. So I'm like, I'm never doing an all wing box again. And I feel like it cost me that contest, right? Just
tell him what your mom said. You told your mom, remember? You told me.
Oh yeah. So we get back to camp and we're done with that. And I'm like, shit, I can't believe it. I just couldn't figure out how that went south. And I'm like, man, everybody loves wings. And she goes, I don't like wings. And I'm like,
tell me this.
Yeah, she's like, I don't like wings. And I'm like, are you shitting me? Yeah. So I mean, man, I guess some people don't like wings, but me and Bill were talking to one of the judges who judged this weekend, and man, he ain't a big fan of having to get a piece of meat off of a flat out of a box, because they're doing it with a fork and knife. And man, I'll be honest, I was under the impression that they could stab those wings and man, just eat it. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
I thought that when they first started doing that, that's what they were doing. I thought that's the feedback I had got from some judges seeing them eat it, but man, I don't know. Yeah. So like what Roddy's saying, and maybe Roddy or Fred can clarify, man, I guess they're not allowed to, like, I would just think they could stab a flat.
Absolutely.
And get it up to their mouth or whatever and just eat the flat. But I guess they actually make them cut a piece off of that, and they're fighting between, if you're not pulling bones, they're fighting between two bones. If you're pulling one bone, they still have one bone there. But, it's not the largest piece of meat to have to navigate. And another thing about them, and man, they just cool off and tighten up so fast.
They do.
I mean, I still turn in wings, but man, I'm working that process super fast. And that's the reason I don't pull a bone anymore, because just the act of going through that, man, they cool off so quick and tighten up. In my opinion, I think we lose, we're losing texture while we're doing it. But man, in these conversations, I'm going to rethink that too. Just, man, food for thought.
Yeah, and if you can only stab and you got to try to get something off a wing, look, you're only getting the skin.
Well, we had a judge come up and basically said anybody that had bones in the wings, he fucking docked them because it was painful for him to, we're not going to mention his name, but
this was before awards.
It's in the private chat.
We're about to start awards and we're getting this information. Like, are you kidding me? Like, if this got wings with bones, the day's not going to go well. We're getting this information moments before we start the awards, and man, I'm thinking, man, I'm fucked out of the gates in chicken, man. I turned in flats, and man, I didn't pull any bones.
Yeah,
I'm just praying I didn't hit that table. I walked fifth in chicken. I'm assuming I didn't hit that table.
And I'm assuming I did.
100% you did.
Yeah.
Frustrating. So what do you?
Yeah, he was mad. This guy was mad that there was wings with bones in them.
Yeah. And, what do they expect us to do? I mean, like, man, I'm
probably
pretty sure you hit that table, Chris. And man, he didn't have any other options.
Yeah, we pulled bones, and then after I turned in, I come back and got a plastic fork and knife, and did the whole deals. And it's a pain in the ass. It's a pain in the ass to cut that little wing in the box. So man, noted.
Yeah, and I asked him too, like, when you get a lot of people are turning in. I turned in a half chicken and wings. So man, what are you going for if there's a half chicken there? You going for that? No, I try to get a bite off both. Was what he told us, right? So it's like, man, that's even harder, right? You're trying to, man, go in there and pick a piece off of a flat and get a piece off of the half chicken, and then take that bite, and how you discern that and score it, man, I don't know. So a lot of times we don't know what happens back there and how they're actually doing it, or at least I don't. So
I think everybody else should try it at least a few times.
That's the biggest contest.
Next weekend.
If you can find wings with 3 bones, turn them in.
So, Chris, I hear you're the king of North Texas. Where do you venture out into? Do you like to just stay in the IBCA and the CBA, or do you get into some KCBS occasionally? Where do you all travel to?
Man, we do. I love cooking KCBS. There's not a lot.
Right.
I mean, we could go to Arkansas, Oklahoma, fairly close, but normally we're doing either, we've got a lot of outlaw in North Texas. I prefer cooking CBA. Nice. I just, there's a lot of things I love about CBA. Obviously 4 meats, walk up songs, man, it's just cool vibes. But love cooking KCBS when we can.
Awesome.
Yeah, my very first GC was a doubleheader, and it was at Belton. And day 1 was IBCA, and day 2 was KCBS. And it was man, I'd never done a KCBS. Hell, I'd never won an IBCA. And it was at the end of y'all's points chase, so there was a lot of teams. Man Meat was there, Tebow Creek was there, Reagan was there, Johnny Trigg was there. There was a lot of teams that were chasing points because it was the last weekend of y'all's chase, and I won the IBCA, and Phil reserved it, and it was my first win. And then on day 2, man, I just helped and ran Phil's boxes for the KCBS, but Hatcher comes showing up at 8:00 at night on Saturday night to do the KCBS, and he ends up GCing the KCBS. Shows up there at 8. I don't know what time. I'm assuming it was 7 or 8. It was late, huh?
Well, I think it was later than that. I think it was around 10 or 11. Yeah, probably about 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the weekend that we drove from New Orleans from that Smoking with a Smithfield deal or whatever.
Oh God, yeah.
That was a nice circle back all the way around, Bill. You hit all 3 of us on that. That was a trifecta of a circle back.
That was a trifecta. Man, and I think Wes was playing a video game.
Circle back.
He was playing Call of Duty or something.
He was trying to figure out what college he was going to go to.
I think I'm older than Phil, to be honest. Nice try there, buddy.
Oh man, don't go with the homeless look, man. You'll age.
I've already hit that too much. It's played out, so we'll just stay fucking. How about that?
But yeah,
been to the Jack.
And that was the first time. That was obviously the first time I'd met Chris. I think it was the first time I'd met you. Was there at that cook-off because man, I wasn't cooking the KCBS. So I was kind of trolling around, bullshitting with everybody. So but yeah. But yeah, you usually, back to Wes's question, you for the most part, I mean, you'll cook all over, but most of the stuff you stay in North Texas, and I think most of us want you to stay in North Texas. To be honest, so
yeah, and with the travel, I mean, man, it's 4 hours, to get to any CBA, and we've got 4 or 5 up here, but man, it's hard to pass up a state qualifier to, drive 4 hours for a CBA.
Absolutely.
And are you cooking Hold'em and Hit'em this weekend, or you doing your Go Texan?
No, stuff? I've got to do a Go Texan event. Get ready for Houston. So,
well, I got you.
Yeah.
Trolling around.
It is.
Trolling around.
Just want to see how you're doing.
Pulling around is code for Shiggin. That's right.
Yeah. So, is Silsby this weekend, Chris?
Yeah.
So, man, that was my first cook-off. So, that was the first cook-off I ever did, and that was January 19th of 2015. I think you were there, weren't you?
We were. Yeah. You won brisket that day.
Yeah.
I believe we won chicken back whenever we knew how to cook a chicken.
Man, another really good circle back. I think we should keep this going.
Let's circle back.
How long when did you start cooking, Chris? How long ago did you start?
Ooh.
It sounds like before Phil. Obviously, I know before me, so
2013, I think.
Okay.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we only did, for the first, until about, I guess, the first 3 years. So 16, we got pretty serious. And I think we hit 30, 40 cooks. But the first 3 years, we would do 2 or 3.
Right.
And
we just kind of went all in after that.
Yeah, I was told right away, man, that's Chris Hatcher. Man, he wins everything. You're already a legend when I started. I'm like, well, sure enough. And, man, we went and did the next one I did was Buna, the Redbud Festival. And man, I think you won that, didn't you?
I reserved it. Yeah.
Okay. Did Kevin Miller won it or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kevin won it, and I reserved it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what everybody said, man. Hatcher wins everything. Kevin Miller wins everything. Sure as shit, man. You are going up there ripping and tearing. So
We used to get lucky.
Yeah.
I guess, did you cook a lot against Kevin Miller? Because, man, ever since I've known him, all he's done is judge, so.
Yeah, we used to come down, being from Silsbee, Beaumont area, we used to go down there and cook at least once or twice a year. So I got to cook with him.
Yeah.
A few times a year at least.
Right.
I think when you were coming in, Bill, that's about when Kevin was on the, tail end of the cooking side, and then got into the judging a lot, right? And with IBCA or whatnot. And man, Debbie, his wife ended up cooking quite a bit. And I think she still does time to time. So,
right.
But yeah, right about the time that they transitioned and judging more often.
Right. Oh shit, man. So yeah, you're gonna fill up the docket this year and kind of bounce around. You're still gonna bounce and hit the Outlaws and all the rest of them, yeah.
Yeah, we will. I mean, the ultimate goal is always try to get 7, or however many bunks you can get.
Yeah.
Try to get drawn for the jack, but man, we've only got, I think we've got one or two right now. So yeah, that's the goal.
There's a chance.
Yeah. So we're not going
to. Are you sitting on 2 or 3, or what are you sitting on?
Me?
Yeah.
Man, I think I got 1.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got 1. You got?
I got 2. Pretty sure I got 2. Yeah.
It's pretty common for me the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. Normally, like at the turn of the year by January, I either got 1 or 2. It seems like for whatever reason, man, all the ground I make up is typically in the spring and the summer or whatever.
Well, I mean, when I got to 7, San Antonio was number 3 for me. So, man, it's you're
on track. You're on track.
I'm on track.
So. And that's that's week after next, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Around the corner.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, right around the corner for sure.
Chris run a savory pork weekend or just shooting for sweet? There's a question from the Shiggin crew, Chris.
Man, I'm kind of sweet and savory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit them with both.
Yep. No. Yeah, a touch of spice, not a lot, but more sweet and savory.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've ran the recipe that we're running, for I guess the past year or so. Man, it's usually working, North Texas, South Texas, did okay in Georgia, all the way in Georgia last year. So,
right.
Yeah, just sweet savory.
Yeah, sometimes it's it's hard to tell what they all want. Oh, there's Chud's barbecue, man. I'm fixing to get into sausage, Chud. I'm coming after you, or not coming after you, but I'm coming after your sausage seasoning for sure. So it's gonna be coming. So I talked to Aaron today to give me a little sausage class. I called Aaron because, man, I got all this trimming, and actually I talked to Chud about the trimming, and you're another one too, Chris, because you were telling me with your trimming, you make a really good, is it carne gusada?
Carne gusada, yeah.
I think you gave me the recipe once, but man, I've lost it, but I need to do something with these trimmings, and I know Phil's giving me a whole bunch of recipes as well, like a whole email full of them. But
maybe a couple hundred.
Some sausage, man. I want to do some sausage, So
what are you doing with the trimmings, Bill? I mean, you need to go into the freezer and back seal them.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just back sealing them, but I need to break them out and start figuring out how to do the sausage, just to even just pass it out at cook-offs. You know what I mean? Even if I just, I could sell it to Kit probably, make a little money,
No, yeah, make a little money. The key, make a little money.
He might accept the sausage, but he is not going to accept a rose.
Right.
He would, man. He's got some. Man,
that's classic.
Sure. Yeah, man, he wouldn't have nothing. I forgot about that. He wouldn't have nothing to do with that, was he, Chris?
Right. Yeah.
He was not happy about that rose.
Oh, that's too funny. Let's see. We're a little over an hour in. Are there any questions for Hollywood Hatcher? G-Walt's got a list of them. What we got here?
You've been at it a while. Do you create your own seasons at all, or are you running anyone's products in particular?
Man, we're starting to mess with them a little bit, but man, for the most part, we run LC products, chicken fried, meat church, and a few others, but those are our main ones.
Main one.
Yeah.
What internal temperature are you taking your half chicken to?
175, 178.
Man, I'm gonna guess you're going thigh on that temperature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't ask, but
That's just all I've ever known.
Fred, I tried giving him the rose, wouldn't take it. It wasn't just that he wouldn't take it, man. You would have thought it was he was trying to hand him a rattlesnake or something.
Hey, y'all should probably give the whole crowd a little background story on the rose, because I did see the rose there.
Go ahead, Phil. I'll let you lead on that one.
Man, I don't remember the story. I don't even know how the rose came about. I just remember sitting the rose on the trash can. It was
well, man, yeah, I mean, obviously Kit's in he's got a Chinese girlfriend or something, and or something more on the or something.
It's on with something.
We're not sure if it's a him or a her, but yeah, he had a rose to give him, and Kit wouldn't take the rose.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on the rose situation until Kit reacted, and then that's when it became intriguing to me because, man, it was like I said, like you're trying to hand him a rattlesnake. Whoa, oh no, dude, you not touch me with the hose. It was.
He said, "I'm not taking that."
He was not having any part of it. Man, we got another question.
We'll get me a drink real quick.
When you wrap, do you wrap in full or in a pan, fat side up or fat side down in the wrap if you care to? Man, I don't know what meat we're on. I guess we're on brisket, huh? I don't know.
That's kind of what I would assume. Yeah, I like wrapping in a pan, fat down. I've always been a fat down.
Nice. And maybe Wes, have you scanned all these questions? We got any more out there we can highlight?
Yeah, I've been popping them up. Y'all just ignored some of them. So
we got a ton of comments tonight. I know that.
Yep. Had one we had from Andy. We're talking about cooking tips for the thighs on a Jumbo, if you could.
Yeah, yeah. So I cook my thighs in a pan as well.
The whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. Once they go in, I like to form my thighs. I cook my thighs, 2 half pans, and I'll cook 8 thighs. They'll go end to end. Once I mold them, get them set where I want, get them kind of squished in the middle. Yep, yeah. Get them tucked in. Cook them in the pan, uncovered for 45 minutes to an hour. Put a lid on it and cook them till they're done.
Nice.
Till they temp.
And do you have any problems with blowouts?
I've never had a blowout.
Wow.
Oh, never. Nice. Mm-hmm.
Man, that's impressive.
That is impressive.
And when you say
are you scraping the skin, Chris, or you cooking with?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you're not even scraping. Yeah,
I'll scrape the edge. Once I
up.
lay it out and set my thigh after it's trimmed and kind of get the layout. I'll kind of skim the edges. That way, whenever I wrap it up, it kind of sticks.
And are you jacaring the skin? I know a lot of guys will. No. Yeah.
Damn.
If they don't scrape, they'll jacar skin or something. So
yeah, no. And
you're doing eight thighs in a half pan.
Yeah,
that's a fairly tight fit, huh?
Yeah, it's perfect. They fit. You're going to have a little bit of gap on each side of the half pan.
Yeah.
But those 2 rows go,
end to end. They're pretty tight.
End to end.
And then you butter bath after 45 or so.
No, nothing.
Whoa, no
straight
butter.
Thighs. Yep, straight thighs until they're covered. Then they go in the butter bath.
Very nice.
Yeah. That's what I meant. So butter bath after the 45.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heavy butter or just mediocre light butter?
Well, can you just type it out and give us a recipe, Chris? Shit, I'm gonna drag it out of you. That's my prep, man. I mean,
We didn't ask him what kind of butter. I mean,
it's
that
slow
matters.
plate. It's cool.
I already sent it to you. You didn't get it? I sent it to all you guys.
But you already sold them to me, Wes. Hatcher's Thigh recipe.
Look, I'm just trying to get it out.
There dragging it out like you don't already have the notes. Whatever.
Let's go to a tough one over here. Are you using wood or charcoal in your Jambo or both?
Lump and post oak.
Nice.
Whole time.
That was the last question we had that I had saved up. So now we had another one in here. We brining and injecting, and then I'll ask if both.
Both.
And it looks like we have one more, not necessarily a question, but we want to make sure and highlight this. So
I didn't even do that on purpose.
Big Kit's got a secret weapon. Man, Ming's going to be doing his jackpot.
Well, you said y'all didn't know if it was a female or male. I think that's a tie. That's tie it. That's a tie.
Well, we're only saying that because we haven't met her yet, but we're under the premise that she's female. So.
Yeah.
She's from Bangkok.
Yeah.
I can tell you. Oh my goodness. Oh, by the firebox, I'm assuming is what Andy's asking.
Man, everything's by that firebox and that Jambo, I think.
Everything.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Fred won't let it go.
My thighs are, my hands are this far from the exit of the firebox.
Man, I got a feeling he's going to have an Asian flair to everything coming pretty soon.
And he's always kind of like the teriyaki,
Man, he does. He's got that secret sauces, teriyaki soy. He's always leaning that direction.
Man, it tastes like
it's getting off the rails.
Man, Cantrell's on top of it. I hate to hear it real quick and pop that back up, but got to get the visa worked out. Okay, so man, we understand of the latest update that's getting ironed out. So one more trip to the consulate just to kind of tidy up some paperwork and the visa's done. So back to the question. Sorry, Wes.
Do we know which website he found her on, or is it?
We did do some fact checking on that, and and it really I did because I made him like, what site is this? And he gave it. I don't remember what it was, but I ran it through some fact checking, and 68% of the time it's legitimate. It also means 32% of the time it's a scam. So
32% of the time
it works.
You're chat lining another dude and you don't know it.
Those numbers, man, they didn't make a dent in anything. That was, and that seemed to be good math for Kit. Like, okay, yeah, 68%. Man, it's legit. Man, I think it's legit.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, just please don't get turduckened when you get over here. Jesus, it's going to happen. If there's somebody that buychinese.com. We're all going to have the show. We got a warning. We're getting shut down.
Yeah.
And as long as they got 3 ball at the bar on Tuesday nights, Kit's never going to watch the show. I mean, it all gets back to him at some point, but he's done made so much money with 3 ball. It doesn't matter.
So funny.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He's playing 3 ball, so we're probably talking a little looser than we should, So
we just get this guy.
Did say that we had to go to town today. We rode and went and picked up some meat for the weekend and did some of our grocery shopping. At some point, he goes, we were talking about the weekend. I don't know what they want. I know they didn't like K6.
Andy, we're 100% having a gong next week.
Yeah. Should we bring up Brad's spatula? I mean, we didn't talk about it. That's big news in the barbecue world, huh?
I think it's funny. And I know Brad at the end of it probably thought it was funny. And I think everybody on here knows what we're talking about, but he was inducted into the first class, the 2025 first ever KCBS Hall of Fame. And you know, they don't really have a whole lot to do when it comes. I mean, they got however many there was, 18 to 20 people proofread them. So he gets his spatula or whatever it is, and it's got his name on there as getting blasted. And I mean, again, it's funny, but it's like, really? So in my mind, Brad, if you're watching, I hope you are, you didn't actually make it in the Hall of Fame, bro. Sorry.
Man, whoever made the spatulas apparently watched episode 4 before they made his spatula.
They did. Yep, you're never made in there. Getting blasted made it. Getting basted didn't.
They were watching episode 4 and drinking while they were doing the engraving on the spatula. Yeah.
I know he couldn't have been too happy about that.
No. No.
Well,
but
man, I'm not sure it would have got mentioned if it hadn't happened. So, man, some of those mistakes are, whatever. Makes for good stories. I know that.
I got a sneaky suspicion he's still going to lap the field this year. Maybe that makes him even more pissed off to do it,
Probably, I'm sure if he laps the field, then getting basted will probably get in the Hall of Fame next year,
Probably. Get it right.
It'll be the only head cook. He'll be the only head cook with
I'm getting blasted.
It's terrible.
Right. Oh, here we go. Here's a question about pork selection. My producer's supposed to be eyeballing these,
He's off his game.
Right. When selecting pork, what's the weight range you're looking for, or is it based off the size of the money muscle?
Money muscle for me, man.
I'm looking at monies and fat cap myself.
So you're going for bacon too, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. If I can,
I'm in the same. I'm looking for a full fat cap, and I'm looking at marbling. And not just on the money, just the whole butt. If it's got good marbling, on the top of the butt, I feel like, man, the money's going to have good marbling. So
yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, you can get an idea of what the money's going to be like in the package, but it's super hard to tell. But yeah, you're right. If it's got a full fat cap and good marbling,
that's what I'll
be all right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're going to more than likely get them. There's only been a few that I've gotten into, and I think, man, that's a hammer. And you open it up, you're like, oh my God, it died so quick behind the meat. But most of the time, you're right. You're going to get what you want.
Yeah. So
if you have an HEB, because you guys have the best grocery store in all of the land, fucking Wagyu everything, $20,
$9.99, $6 rib.
And pick it out. I mean, y'all
Smithfields are cheap, bro, huh? I mean, those Smithfields are cheap. The IBPs are cheap at HEB. I mean,
I've seen the meat you brought to a contest. I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, those are $30 ribs where I get them. They're like $7.50. You got 5 racks of them picking through them. Stupid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Man, last time I checked, we're still letting people in. You want to come on over to Texas?
Or I think I got 2 good buddies over here that could help me out. Just pick me some stuff and bring it.
I tell you what, when we go up and cook smoke on the shore in Tennessee, and then that next week we do some turkey hunting, man, I'll load up. You tell me, man, I'll just load the wagon. How about that?
Oh yeah, y'all heard it here. He's going to show up like, bro.
I'm making commitments. You've made commitments to cook in Texas this year. I'm making commitments to bring.
Absolutely.
Are you cooking smoke on the shores, Phil? Have you decided you're going to go there?
I think I'm going to. We kind of penciled that in, talking about it, looking at the. I think turkey season in Mississippi opens that weekend of Smoke on the Shore.
It does.
Yeah.
The shows are so much better when he comes in the last 3 minutes. when he doesn't have any clients to go fishing with, he's a fucking pest.
Right. We'll definitely be closing with some heavy metal music. I can tell. Man, Wes is getting pissed.
No, I don't give it. He's just
he's over here, boning his shin like the accountant.
All right, Little Gringo said we heard it here tonight. You're going to be there, man. We're going to have the fans lined up.
I couldn't pass it up. Eric was like, "Man, if you come, I'll give you a free entry." So I'm like, "Man, I couldn't pass it up."
We heard it here tonight. Hey, and I don't think I've paid yet, so go ahead and we're a team. What happens to one happens to all of it.
Boy, we've never been more politically incorrect. I can tell you that.
We're all team Pib tonight, baby. I want my money back. And he's going turkey hunting. Shit.
Yeah, I got to talk to Drew. I need to check his schedule because I know you've been keeping Drew abreast too, right? I think, huh?
I've been keeping him a little bit. I send you more pictures, but he knows he has the image. Y'all are going together. I want him gone. All of them.
Look, we're coming loaded for bear. I mean, we intend to put a dent in y'all's turkey population. I don't know what the limit is, but that's what we're shooting for.
The limit is if they're walking, you didn't do a good enough job.
It's Mississippi.
Now, they're a federally protected bird, so that's on you when you get caught. I will say that I didn't give you permission
on Facebook.
Well, I know Drew's going to be there.
Man, we're an hour and 20 minutes in. Chris, man, I appreciate you taking an hour and 20 minutes out of your time.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Man, if you got sponsors you want to thank, let me see, Wes, were there any other questions we need to circle back on? Or are we good?
That was it, buddy.
Man, shout out to your sponsors, Chris, and we'll shut her down.
Yeah, for sure. Royal Oak Charcoal, Meat Church Barbecue Rubs, LC Product, and Champion Barbecue Supply out of Oklahoma City. They help us out. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Perfect. Well, man, thanks again.
Yeah.
You guys got any closing remarks? Go ahead. We'll shut her down.
Patrick. Thanks for
having me on, guys.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week. Maybe damn Yankees. Maybe. We'll see.
He didn't give us the other $49.